As someone who loves to cook and experiment with both old and new recipes, I have a special place in my heart for herbs. One of the best aspects to having a home garden is growing herbs and enjoying the flavoring that they add to food when eaten fresh. But as you can see, herbs tend to produce in abundance, and many home gardeners, especially those who are new to home gardening, wonder, what should I do with my abundance of herbs? They also wonder, what should I do with this excess amount of herbs? It's the end of the growing season. Today, on Grandma Bessie's house, we are in the garden and tackling these questions by focusing on air drying your herbs and seeds once you harvest them. Before we begin harvesting and drying our herbs, we need to discuss the differences between annual, biennial, and perennial herbs. Herbs that you have to replant every year are considered annual herbs because they have a 1-year life cycle. When harvesting annual herbs, pinch off the stem directly above a set of leaves. Basil, cilantro, and dill are examples of annual herbs. Herbs that take 2 years to complete their life cycle are called biennials. Snip these herbs off at the base of the plant. This will encourage the plant to produce more stems. Common biennial herbs include parsley, stevia, and watercress. Perennial herbs do not last forever, but these herbs have longevity and survive multiple growing seasons. If you cut them back during late fall to early winter, they will go dormant and regrow the following spring. Perennial herbs are harvested by removing the top quarters of their sprigs or stems. Mint, sage, and rosemary are examples of perennials. If you are harvesting herbs during their growing season, make sure the plant has enough foliage to maintain growth. Harvest herbs during the morning after the dew evaporates from them and remove no more than 1/4 to 1/3 of the plant so it will grow and continue to produce for you. Also, production of the plant will decline if you allow it to go to seed. For continued production, constantly remove flowers by deheading them. If you plan on harvesting and drying seeds, ignore the advice on deadheading. In order to collect seeds, you must allow the herbs to form flowers and go to seed. You can then clip the stem head along with a small amount of stem to collect the seeds for drying. If your herbs are giving and they constantly produce for you during the season, there's no way you can possibly consume them all while fresh. Share your abundance and preserve the rest. There are 3 methods of drying herbs that Grandpa George taught me to use for preserving them. The traditional air drying method, drying herbs in the oven, and air drying herbs in the food dehydrator. As a true farmer, he preferred using the traditional air drying method, and this is the method we will focus on today. We only use the other 2 methods when high humidity wouldn't allow the herbs to air dry. Once you harvest your herbs, you need to prep them for air drying. Look through your plants and discard any dead or damaged foliage. Rinse your herbs to clean any outside dirt or bugs off of them. Let your herbs dry with paper towels and set them aside on a clean workspace. I cover my dining room table with a clean sheet. At this time, gather your supplies needed for air drying. These include rubber bands, paper clips, a rope or a net, and hangers. Separate your herbs in small loose bunches. Tie the bunches together with a rubber band by their stems. Set them aside. Unfold your paper clip. Loop your paper clip through the rubber band and the other free end will eventually attach to the rope or net. Set aside. To dry seeds, take the collected seed heads and tie their bunches with the rubber band by their stems. Get a paper bag and punch holes throughout the bag, except at the flat bottom portion. This protects the tiny seeds from dust while allowing for ventilation. It also collects the seeds that separate from the seed head while drying. Place the tied loose bunches in a paper bag with the stems placed toward the top of the bag. Seal the bag, attach the paper clips to the bag, and set aside. In a dark, warm, well-ventilated room, hang the herb bunches upside down along with hanging the paper bag from the rope or net. Make sure this room does not attract a lot of dust and is away from direct sunlight. It will take at least a month or a little longer for both the herb bunches and seed bunches to fully dry. That's it. Easy peasy. Once your herbs are fully dry, remove them from the stems and store them in an airtight container. They should store for up to 12 months. As mentioned, herbs truly are a great addition to the home garden and are loved by just about everyone who enjoys cooking. As Grandpa George would explain to me while wiping the sweat from his brow as we harvested herbs in the blazing southeast Louisiana morning sun,
these little guys make everything taste better.
Thanks for watching and tuning into another episode of Grandma Bessie's House.